If you have a cell phone number or a home phone number, you need to watch this because scammers are hijacking phone numbers and using them to drain your bank accounts.
86-year-old Joanne returned home from the hospital when she noticed her landline telephone wasn't working. Her son Steve tried calling AT&T to report the problem.
They said, oh, there was a breach and we think your number was stolen. Your phone number from your landline was stolen. Approximately $25,000 that had been wired out of her account.
Justin Chan is trying to cope with losing $38,000.
The night of September 4th, it was about 11 p.m. I'd gotten some initial notifications on my phone that were very unusual. My passwords were changed.
His iPhone had stopped working, learned someone had called his cell phone provider, Xfinity Mobile, and convinced them to transfer his phone number to a device he didn't own. 5 days later, Chan got a chilling letter in the mail from Bank of America showing 3 wire transfers totaling $38,000.
In this video, I'm going to break down how hackers are getting access to people, phone numbers, and also how they're changing over their phone number by taking it over and then getting access to their personal bank accounts, and how you can protect yourself from these scammers draining your bank accounts.
Yeah, Tom and Dan, we too often see scams like this. In this particular case, it all started with a hijacked phone number that led to tens of thousands of dollars wired out of this woman's bank account. Now, the scary part is experts say there's little she could have done, or any of us for that matter, to prevent this. 86-year-old Joanne returned home from the hospital when she noticed her landline telephone wasn't working. Her son Steve tried calling AT&T to report the problem.
They said, oh, there was a breach and we think your number was stolen. Your phone number from your landline was stolen. So that was really weird.
Steve says AT&T gave Joanne a new number. The next month, she got a letter from Wells Fargo indicating there was possible fraudulent activity on her savings account. That same day, she called the bank and was told to come in.
There was approximately $25,000 that had been wired out of her account.
Now, one of the ways that these hackers got access to this information is through data breaches. Now, it seems like every day that there's an announcement of a new data breach, which is compromising millions of people private information and opening them up to identity theft. Now, with these data breaches, if you're getting letters about a data breach, please do not throw that away, because later on down the line, it could be the reason why negative items and accounts that you didn't apply for is popping up on your credit report. And it can be even years later with these scammers having access to your information. They turn around and sell it on the dark web. And this can really be a nuisance to customers. And this is not their fault.
First, we didn't know how the money was taken out.
Weeks after her phone number was hijacked, this happens. An odd coincidence? Maybe. But how would stealing a phone number be enough to commit wire fraud?
Apparently, whoever stole this number then had it converted to a cell phone to another carrier.
Steve says an investigation found the hackers stole more than just Joanne's AT&T phone number. The account was still registered in her late husband's name. According to that investigation, it appears a hacker used Steve's father's identity, paired that with a stolen phone number, to gain access online to a joint Wells Fargo bank account in his parents' name.
Now, these hackers was able to hijack her landline number and was able to get the information connected to the account via from AT&T. And additionally, this gave them access to one of her family members' information. And this went further down the rabbit hole on how these scammers are now high tech, where they were able to convert this number to a cell phone number and then get access to her bank accounts and was able to withdraw tens of thousands of dollars.
It was too easy for this to happen. The failure from Wells Fargo, that they allowed the money to be taken out.
Wells Fargo told 7 on Your Side, "We are pleased this matter was resolved through our ongoing collaboration with our customer. We had been working with our customer prior to being contacted by KGO TV. We continually combat fraud to protect our customers. As part of this effort, it is very important for customers to keep their account information current and notify us of life changes, including the passing of an account holder or co-account holder." Wells Fargo removed his father's name from the account, and Steve helped his mom lock her credit.
Now, apparently, the phone was in the name of her deceased husband, and she just kept the phone in that name. And probably when her husband passed away, the line has been there for years, and she may have never even thought about changing the phone number over and just was paying the account. Now, the hackers was able to pose as her husband and then get access online through Wells Fargo and then get access to her and her husband bank account. Now, many a times, if you have life changes, it is best to notify your bank and any other accounts tied to that deceased person name so they can know that person is no longer here and to be able to have access to that account. Now, with my elite credit system, we use smart credit. And with smart credit, they give you $1 million of fraud protection. Now, this protects you and your household. And with Money Manager manage and actually give you alerts for your bank accounts for any suspicious activity. And with my elite credit system, users like Greg was able to remove a collection from his credit report within 12 days. So if a situation of identity theft happened to you, you want to make sure that you get the proof, especially keep it with the proof of the data breach and your letters. So if you need my help to remove negative items or you've been a victim of identity theft and you need my AI software and my credit coaching, the link is in the description of the video and the pinned comment section.
Then came another problem.
The big hurdle was they wanted a letter.
Wells Fargo wanted a letter from AT&T confirming that Joanne's number was stolen and ported to another company. But
The lack of customer service from AT&T until we reached out to someone on your side.
struggling for a month to sort this out, Steve says after we got involved, he heard back from AT&T 15 minutes later. He sent the letter to Wells Fargo, and the bank refunded Joanne the $25,000.
Well, 7 on your side for me was like a lifesaver. There was a door that was locked to us and we weren't getting any further, and 7 on your side was the key that opened that door up.
AT&T apologized to Steve and Joanne for the delay and sent us the following statement saying fraudulent port outs are a form of theft committed by sophisticated criminals. We work closely with law enforcement, our industry, and consumers to help prevent this type of crime.
Now, this is a shame that this family had to go through this long process just to straighten out the situation. At the end of the day, this was no fault of their own. You have companies that actually are getting hacked, and they're the cause of your information being leaked out with these data breaches. So you want to make sure that you are monitoring your credit and setting up any credit alerts of any suspicious activity. With your credit cards and your bank accounts, they do give you alerts for free. And you may want to set a certain limit on your credit cards for any purchases that you get a text alert so you can stay on top of any suspicious activity going on with your accounts. Also, you may want to lock your credit reports, your Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. So if scammers get your information, your reports are locked and they're not able to access credit under your name. And you'll be surprised how many times that this happens to people and they don't even know it if they're not monitoring their credit scores. So you want to make sure that you stay on top of this. And if your information is compromised, you want to report it to the police immediately and try to get a police report. Then also contact the company with the data breach. You want to get as much evidence as possible because once these scammers get your information, they don't stop. They can keep doing this for years and years to come. So you want to make sure if something else down the line come up, you have the proof to remove that negative item off of your credit report. And additionally, you want to make sure with your bank accounts, you're not putting all your eggs in one basket by keeping all your money in one account. You want to make sure you have at least 2 bank accounts where you separate your savings. So if one account get compromised, they don't have access to all your money to drain your bank accounts. This also go for your cell phone numbers. Scammers can get your cell phone number and do something called SIM swapping. So make sure on your cell phone accounts, you put a password with your cell phone provider so you can stop scammers from getting access to your phone number and controlling your accounts. Because if they are able to do the SIM swapping, now they can get a cell phone and your banking apps and your information can transfer over to the scammer's cell phone. And then that can really wreak havoc. So make sure that you know about all these scams moving forward because they're getting more high tech. So hopefully this information was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave it in the comment section. For more detailed questions for me, you can go to my website and all your questions go directly to my cell phone. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned.